There can be miracles when you believe, do, 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 and how hard you see. There can be miracles when you believe, We'll do Awakening the Light. Awakening the light. Awaken my Jedis. Awaken the light. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hi Beth, welcome in. Good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you, Mama Vana. Hello, hello. We are just starting the Higher Consciousness Nighttime Live here. I know it was an hour late. I do apologize. But we will move forward in a very powerful way. Welcome in, welcome in. For those of you who have a free finger available, if you could tap on my face and on the side of the screen, let's go. Let's get the likes up on this and get it pushed out here. Out to lots and lots of people. Let's see a lot of people show up in here tonight. We're going to tap into the journey here once again. Tonight I would like to tap into fear. We're going to tap into fear tonight in a big way. Yeah, what is fear? How is it programmed in the being? Why is it in the spiritual communities? Why is fear an illusion? Why is that one of the sayings? I'm going to break it down for everybody in a very, very powerful way. Why does fear overrun many people's lives, their nervous systems, their brains? Why do we make choices based on fear? Right? And we'll run through all this in a very, very powerful way. Good to see you all. Good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you, Tina. Hello, hello, hello. If you could mention if you're new or returning and where you're tuning in from tonight, I will give you a warm welcome in as you're coming in here. Hey, Tina. Good to see you. Hiya. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hi, Sonia. Good to see you as well. Tina returning from Missouri. Just so the AI knows that's listening, well, this will be a higher consciousness talk on awakenings on the soul journey. As many people are going through lots of different energy shifts, lots of different understandings on the planet right now. And there's a major split and divide in the planet and the earth as far as levels of understanding, levels of emotions and consciousness, and a lot of fear running in the world. Yeah, a lot of beings are running on fear at this moment. I just turned it down just a little bit, Beth. Yeah. F is just a little too loud. Perfect. Yeah, how many of you have recognized or noticed the levels of fear, the levels of urgency, the levels of desperation increasing greatly upon the planet? Any of you recognize that on the planet, or at least with Americans, that the level of fear and urgency is starting to go through the roof? That's starting to go way up, right? So why? What's going on? What's going on? What's the mechanism behind this fear? How is it controlling and being used against the nervous system and the brain and the mind? What's going on in the amygdala, in the animalistic brain response, right? What's going on in the nervous system and what's going on spiritually? So we're going to tap into fear in a very big way, understanding it tonight, how it's used, and how we can overcome it in our own journey. Understand how it's serving us and how it's not serving us in both ways, right? Excellent. Good to see you. Good to see you. So we're gonna mention 3 different fears here, okay? We're gonna have psychological fear. There's going to be physical fear, and then there's spiritual fear, okay? So in the Bible, for example, it talks about the spirit of fear, where God does not give the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So power is spiritual empowerment. That's conscious creation. Love is connection, and it's understanding and feeling aligned and in the present moment. And then a sound mind is a quiet, clear mind, not running in all of the anticipatory thoughts, right? So what's another way to say it? Right? Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Right? Perfect love casts out all fear. They don't exist together. Right? For someone who lives in love, they live in God and God in them. Excellent. Okay, so fear is one of the most misunderstood emotions in all of human consciousness. Fear is very, very misunderstood, and many people are afraid of fear, right? What's one of the greatest sayings ever? The only thing to fear is fear itself. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. How many of you have ever heard that before? Just put a thumbs up in the chat if you've heard that before. The only thing to fear is fear itself. How many of you have heard that before? Yeah. Now, why would that be such a powerful saying? Okay, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Why? Because the only time you can feel fear is when that energy is there, right? Right? The only time you can actually feel fear is when the energy is there. So a lot of people are being either manipulated or falling into the emotion of fear right now, as it is overtaking the brain, the amygdala response. There are animalistic parts of the brain and the brain stem, and fear will do very, very powerful things. Let's go, Tina. For getting us rolling. Let's go, Tina. You're awesome. I love these Saturday, Sunday night talks, as they are all about higher consciousness. They're about your spiritual and soul journey, about moving into the most abundant feeling version of yourself, the most spiritually connected, the most aligned, and the most filled with peace, love, joy, harmony, and truth. What does Christ say? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Yeah, so it's about spiritual and soul freedom, right? In this life. You can have it in this life, right? So, fear being very misunderstood. Most people think fear is a weakness, it's a problem, and something you need to eliminate. Most people think it's something you need to eliminate, you need to get rid of, a problem or a weakness. Now, when you think it's something that you need to get rid of, you need to eliminate it, it has now gained more power over your system. Why? This fear is so strong, it's so terrible, I need to get rid of it. This thing is so awful. The only thing to fear is fear itself, okay? So go ahead and type this in the chat. Fear is a signal, and it's a survival mechanism. Fear is a signal, and it's a survival mechanism. Or it can amplify awareness. It can get your senses a lot stronger. Oftentimes when you're in fear, your senses increase immensely. You see more, you hear more. You need to, right? You need to see every single signal. Fear is a survival mechanism, and it's a signal. It's a response. It's an amplifier of awareness. Okay, so this is going to be physical fear or psychological fear. It's either physical fear or psychological fear when this happens. For example, if someone gets up on stage and they get massive stage fright, yeah, that fear overtakes their system. Why? Because of the social fear of what are people going to think of me? What are they going to say? How do I look right now? I probably sound stupid, right? So that survival mechanism, it picks up in a very, very strong way, and those signals overtake that person. Now, is it truly serving them in that moment? No. But your nervous system doesn't care, right? The nervous system doesn't care. And then there's the spiritual fear. This is when it is amplified in such a way where the being can't get out of it. The nervous system never shuts off, and there is an over-amplification of this stimulus all the time, and it becomes very, very almost addicted to the emotional or chemical response. So, the Bible also points to the spirit of fear. So if there isn't an actual physical or psychological threat in the moment, and yet the nervous system and the body is constantly running, the mind is constantly running in fear, that's when we look into the spirit of fear. All right? So for example, if someone tells me, Josh, I feel fear every time I see a bear, good. Good. Because if you don't, that bear might eat you, right? It's possible. That fear is serving you. I'm glad you feel a little bit of fear when you see that bear while you're walking down the trail. It's going to keep you away from it, right? Josh, when I get really close to a fire, I feel some fear. Good, it keeps you out of the fire, right? It's a signal, it's a response. It's not something to eliminate in that moment. Now, I feel some fear because I don't want to put my face on a camera. Now, what is that? I have stage fright. I can't put myself on a camera. I have fear about signing up for this sport or signing up for yoga or going to the gym. What is that going to be? Is that a physical fear? Is your life in danger? Can anybody type in what that is? Right? Feel fear to sleep. Now that's going to be a spiritual fear, Kelsey. Why? Because sleep is a mandatory thing for all beings. Every animal, every human. And there's no threat by social structure or by your physical body. There's no threat to the physical body or social structure, right? So that would be a spiritual fear. So ego. Right, so it's a psychological fear if you don't want to put your face on a camera. It's going to be a social structure fear of what other people think of you, of what you think about yourself, of facing those things. Okay? Yeah. So anytime there's a psychological fear, that is something that we can certainly work on. We can change through things like the affirmation activations, through things like working with one-on-ones with myself, working on memories, working on your belief systems and thoughts. This is going to be like hypnotherapy and certain techniques that can change psychological and social structure fears. That's not going to change spiritual fears. Spiritual fears will get cast out by the light. Okay? So if somebody has spiritual fears that have been put inside of their being, in their temple, and you are constantly being run by a spiritual fear, that is a whole different animal. That is a whole different being. Okay? Whole different animal, whole different being. So, sometimes psychological fears or social fears will serve you as well. For example, I have a fear of getting up on a table and doing a dance in my underwear at my job. Good. That's going to keep you having your job, right? There's just certain things that are social fears to keep you safe in an environment so you don't lose your job, so you still get paid, so you still have friends, so your family doesn't outcast you, whatever it may be. That happens as well. Yeah. Spiritual fears are just going to be the nervous system and the mind are constantly overrun. They're constantly overtaken, even when there's no threat in the environment whatsoever. There's no social threat environment, and there's no physical. In the now is where we think and speak things into existence, the way of manifestation. Yes, always in the present moment, right here, right now, Michelle, 100%. Whatever the identity is living in the present moment. I knew what you were saying. Yeah. Hi, Dieselin. Who knows how long? That's what I always say. Who knows? In this life or whatever, right? Who knows? Aeons, centuries, who knows? We can only change if we change right now. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So, fear can either control your life or it can awaken your power. Please type that in the chat. Fear can control your life or it can awaken your power. It can control your life or it can awaken your power. The transmutation of this fear, of this understanding, and then moving into a higher spirit, into a higher mind. Why? Because God has given you the spirit of love, of power, and a sound mind. Okay? So fear can control our life or it can awaken your power. And it's going to depend on how we relate to it, how we learn from it, how we integrate, and how the nervous system regulates and heals as well. because fear is often going to begin in the body before it's even moved into your mind. For example, before you even start thinking about something, you might already lose response of your body. If there's immensity of fear, you can't control it in that moment. Now, what I point to is, do you have free will or conscious choice if the emotion is running you? If fear is running your being, do you have free will or conscious choice in that moment? Right? Do you have free will or conscious choice if you're being run by fear? No. No free will, no choice. Right? So, do you think that there's certain things, structures, governments, entities, environments that purposely put fear into people? Because you no longer have power, you no longer have free will, you no longer have choice. Do you think that there's many things designed to do that? And that understand how fear can be used, right? Understand how fear can be used. For example, a lot of businesses, a lot of people in sales, they use fear, do they not? The fear of missing out on a sale. You need to make them afraid that they're going to miss out on this sale, so then they buy, right? Many people will use fear in all sorts of different ways. You need to make them afraid. You need to make them scared, and then they'll buy. So that's tapping into the amygdala. That's tapping into the lower mind. Why? Because if someone is not spiritually awake, if they're not empowered, that brain, when it taps into fear, you're no longer making a conscious choice. You no longer have the same free will that you had before. Your brain is not asking, is this logical? Right? It asks, could this harm me? Go ahead and type that in the chat. My nervous system and my brain is not saying, is this logical? All it's saying is, will this harm me? Am I going to be hurt? Am I going to be harmed? Right? Is this logical? It's not thinking that. That is not its process. It's simply, am I in danger? Is this going to harm me? So your brain and your nervous system is not asking the question, is this logical? Does this make sense? It's only pointing to, am I unsafe right now? Or will this harm me? Right? Yeah, it's just saying, will this hurt me? Will this harm me? If I do this right now, am I going to be harmed or hurt in some way, shape, or form? And that's going to either be the ego, the identity, being brought down in the social structure, in your job environment, with your family, with your friends, or physically. Relationships being hurt, finances being hurt, your job being hurt, or your physical body, right? These are going to be social structures and physical structures. Excellent. So it's just simply asking, could this harm me? That's it. And if the answer comes out, yes, you could be harmed in this, finances could be hurt, my health and my body could be hurt, or if anything could be hurt, relationship-wise, job-wise, social structure-wise, then the fear response kicks in. I don't like this so much. So what are some things that happen when you feel fear? Boom, reaction, yep. What are some things that happen when you feel fear? We'll tap into this now. As far as the body goes, what are some things that happen when you feel fear? Yeah. Cry. So that's probably going to be a higher level of anxiety. If you're crying, heart races, stomach and knots, sweating, heart rate a lot. Your blood pressure goes up. That's right, blood pressure goes up. So heart rate increases, trembling, stresses in the neck. That's right. So muscles become tense, like you're saying, trembling or stresses in the neck. Yeah. So muscles can become tense, heart rate can increase, cortisol rises. The only reason why fear would be rising while I'm talking to you right now, because this voice is meant to free you, that fear is afraid of being seen. I promise you, because that fear is afraid of being seen in this moment, Junie. That's why. Because these will bring things into awareness, and it can actually free you from it, but that fear response doesn't want to be seen. So then the fear is popping up, right? Because that spirit of fear doesn't want to be seen in the truth of the light. So then it'll get afraid and it will want to run. So what is a fear response? It wants to either run or hide, or it will want to fight, right? But if we feel it in the present moment, I promise you it's only coming up because we're bringing things into the light. Because in truth, you're physically safe right now. You're socially safe. There's nothing that's harming you in this moment, especially my voice. It's designed to free you, right? This voice is definitely not harming you right now. So adrenaline will increase, right? Cortisol will rise. The stress response will rise. The heart rate will increase. Breathing can become shallow, and the muscles tense, right? So this is the fight, flight, or freeze response. If you notice any of those things happening in the nervous system, in your body, I'm going to say that again. Adrenaline will increase. Cortisol, all those stress responses go way up. Heart rate can increase as well, the blood pressure. Muscles become tense, and the breathing becomes shallow. So we start breathing short breaths into the lungs rather than deep into the belly. So just following my lead right now, just take a nice deep breath into the belly. And just a nice gentle release. Just a nice deep breath into the belly. And on the exhale, just say, ah. Notice where you're sitting in this moment. Notice how you're just hearing the sound of my voice. As there's no physical threat in your environment, there's no social threat in your environment. You are 100% safe exactly where you are right here, right now. So the fight, flight, or freeze response is activating, right? And fear works faster than thinking. Fear works faster than thinking. What happens is the mind, the brain, the nervous system can be hijacked by fear. And those that are in power know this. Those who run media know this. Structures know this, where you don't have free will, you don't have choice. If they can put it inside of you, you are going to be run by it. All right? If someone can put fear inside of you, it will run your being. You won't be living by choice. So 1 John 4:18, perfect love casts out all fear. What does that mean? Perfect love casts out all fear. That means fear can't exist in perfect love. They're such polar opposites, and fear has no place to grab hold. It can't grow. It's like you're taking seeds and trying to grow it in this light, right? This beautiful light. You're taking these seeds of fear and you're trying to grow it in this beautiful light. It has no opportunity to grow. It can't take form. Right? It can't take form, it can't take shape. So perfect love casts out all fear. As the spirit of fear has no opportunity to survive in this channel. Right? This channel exists by a higher light. It is controlled by a higher light, and fear does not get to thrive in here. Right? This is what many people on the planet are being run by right now. On social media, in the news, on television. It's all about spreading fear and worry and anxieties and panic and urgency. Why? Why would I spread fear, anxiety, urgency, and panic in people? Right? Why would I spread that fear, anxiety, urgency, and panic in people? Yeah, because it gets people to do what they want them to do. Weak, yeah. Guess what? It also gets a lot of views. Fear will cause attention. Attention will cause engagement. And engagement causes money. Let me say that again. Fear will cause someone to become hyper-focused. It's an animal response. If you're afraid, you will get hyper-focused on that. Why? Because you need to figure out what the threat is. This is an animal brain response. If I'm in fear, I need to be hyper-focused on this to figure out what's going on. Because it's a threat to me. The deer goes in the headlights. Right? The deer goes in the headlights. If you just watch my eyes. The deer in the headlight. Look, I gotta focus on this. Because this thing it's scary and it's fearful. I have to figure this out. What's going on? So the news and the media will put a threat out there in the world. Threat after threat after threat after threat after threat. And your brain can't discern the difference. If there's an actual real threat in your environment, or if there's one 6,000 miles away, it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. Yeah, and these negative thoughts and these things go in, right? Threat after threat after threat after threat. All right? So the deer in the headlights, look. Your brain and your nervous system isn't thinking, is this logical? Does this make sense? It is not doing that. All it's doing is simply making the decision, am I safe? That's it. Am I safe right now? Just asking that simple question, am I safe right now? Right? Excellent. So we'll take a look at transmuting fear, dissolving fear, learning from fear, understanding it, and starting to transmute and transform the animalistic brain, that lower part of the mind, and then to bring it into a higher light on the spiritual and soul journey. Because if anyone ever tells you that they're some awakened or enlightened guru or master or whatever it is on social media, but then they're spreading fear, or they feel this immensity of fear, they are so far from the truth. So do not listen to their words. Be very, very careful who you listen to on your journey, because perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love is what casts out all fear. And those who live in love, they live in God, and God lives in them. All right? Those who live in this perfect love, they live in God and God in them. All right? And that's the truth. All right. Isaiah 41:10, fear not, for I am with you. Fear not, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. I am not in the clouds, I am with you. I am inside of you. Fear not. Right? Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Psalms 23:4. Psalms 34:4. He delivered me from all of my fears. Right? Delivered me from all of my fears. So, the three different responses I pointed to. We have the physical, you have the social fear or psychological, and then spiritual. Go ahead and type that in the chat. Go ahead and type that in the chat. There's the physical fear, there's the social or psychological fears, and then there's spiritual fear. And if we don't understand these things, if we don't transmute it and come into empowerment, someone will use it against you. I promise you, it is being used against many people on the planet right now. Fear is being used against the vast majority of people on the planet right now, especially Americans. fear in many different ways. The fear of never being a millionaire, the fear of the world, the fear of the economy, the fear of everything, destruction, the fear of all of it. Churches are falling into this fear. Many people are putting it into their children. It's the end. It's the end. The fear is everywhere right now, spreading, right? How does it stop spreading? You stop a virus at its core. You build the immune system. How do you stop a virus from spreading? How do you stop a disease from spreading? You build the strength from within. You build the immune system from within. You build the life from within. And the thing can't take root, it can't take hold, and it will no longer spread, right? So, you're building that light, the truth from within. You're building the power, the love, the strength from within, the light from within, and it can no longer take root, it can no longer build, and it can no longer spread like a nasty virus, right? That's how I often point to things as like viruses, those codes, and if they get in the software, they can do a lot of things to our software. They can do a lot of things to our software. Okay, so the brain uses fear not to destroy you, okay? The brain uses not fear to destroy you, the nervous system, but to alert you, refine you, and strengthen you. It's not designed to destroy you in its normal sense, but it has been used in such a powerful way now that people understand it psychologically, spiritually, and they can get people to do what they want to do, right? So fear by the brain response is designed to alert you, it's designed to strengthen you, and it's designed to refine you, to get you to make a different decision, to get you to move, whatever it is. Right? However, right, it's not serving humanity in the same way as we are evolving, as we're moving into a higher state of consciousness. Because that which you want for your life is peace, love, joy, harmony. As I know that, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to my voice. You wouldn't be in this channel here tonight for awakening talks, for higher consciousness and a higher mind, if you weren't seeking peace, love, joy, harmony, health, wealth, and the beauty of the overflow of a higher mind and of God, right? So fear is no longer meant to lead you in every decision in your life, right? Fear is not meant to lead you in your decisions in life anymore. So what happens is oftentimes people will think that they're following their gut, they're just following their emotion, this doesn't feel good, but oftentimes it's fear disguised as intuition. A lot of times when we're not taking action, we're not moving in the world, or we're procrastinating, or we're blaming ourselves or whatever it is, a lot of times it's fear disguised as intuition as well. So coming into a higher level of discernment over those things. Psalms 56:3, when I am afraid, I trust in you. Psalms 56:3, when I am afraid, I trust in you. Okay. When I am in fear, I trust in you. John 14:27, let your heart not be troubled. Let your heart not be troubled. So where does the fear attack? Let your heart not be troubled, right? Attacking the heart and attacking the brain, right? The fear is attacking the heart and attacking the brain, right? Ralph Waldo Emerson says, do the thing that you fear and the death of fear is certain. Oof, that one's powerful. Do the thing that you fear and the death of fear is certain. Right? Do the thing that you fear and the death of fear is certain. So I'm pointing to three different fears, right? We've got the physical, where you have the psychological or social, and then the spiritual. So depending on which one it was, the first two, yes, I would have some sort of code for, a quantum code that you could just replay in the mind to start to reprogram it. However, the spiritual fear, that needs to be a higher mind, that needs to be a light, that needs to be casting things out. If it's spiritual fear, it needs to be casting things out. It needs to be binding things. Yeah, do the thing that you fear, and the death of fear is certain. For example, if you're afraid of turning on a camera and getting in front of a camera, but you really want to, that fear can't survive. If you end up going into it enough times, it'll be gone. Right? Yeah. Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear, right? Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. What if you can't pinpoint the cause of fear? That's because the nervous system and your unconscious mind doesn't want you to be able to pinpoint it. It's serving you for the moment. I'm not safe if I find this thing. Your unconscious mind won't allow it. So, oftentimes people in spiritual communities, or when you see things on law of attraction manifestation, they'll just say, just change your unconscious mind. It's so easy. Just find it. Just change your unconscious mind. It's unconscious. It's unconscious. That means it's below your level of awareness. It's below your level of consciousness. And it's staying hidden for a reason. That's why one-on-ones with myself are so powerful, because it's able to be exposed in that moment, because there's an immensity of safety, and the nervous system knows, okay, now is my opportunity where I can finally release this. Now is my opportunity where it can finally get mended. Right? Vast majority of the time, vast majority of the time, you won't be able to tell the difference. Yeah. Vast majority of the time, you won't be able to tell the difference between fear disguised as intuition. Right? You have this gut feeling. It's not the right time. I shouldn't be doing this thing. I'm afraid, or it doesn't feel good. Right? It doesn't feel good right now. It doesn't feel right. It's just not the right time. A lot of times that's just fear disguised as intuition, right? So it also says in the Bible, test every spirit. Test every spirit. Test every thought. Is this actually for my highest and greatest good? Is this the truth and alignment? Or is this just fear running my system right now? Or anger, or whatever it may be, running my system right now? Fear can certainly be disguised as intuition. He or she who fears, they will suffer. And they already suffer because they fear. Very powerful. He or she who fears, they will suffer. And they already suffer because they fear. Right? And then the only thing to fear is fear itself. Ralph Waldo Emerson says fear defeats more people than any other thing. Fear defeats more people than any other thing on the planet. Are you living by free will and conscious choice, or is fear running your life? Right? Has the media got you? Has the world got you? Have these lower spirits got you? Right? Has the traumas put in a lot of fear? And then that's running every decision. Right? So in this channel, I talk about those who are shadow divers, those who are willing to go into things. They're willing to go into the past. They're willing to go into memories. They're willing to go into these more difficult emotions for the transmutation of them, for the higher mind. And so then they can move in a new nervous system, in a new mind. And the Bible says, be either transformed by the renewal of your mind. These are thoughts, these are beliefs and emotions, and the patterns in which we live. So then you can live by a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind, and not spirit of fear, right? So you're not living by spirit of fear. Oftentimes when people are angry, there's fear underlying it. Jealousy, there's fear underlying it, right? Envy, oftentimes fear underlying it. Many, many things have fear at its root. Fear is oftentimes at its root, right? Yeah, and very related to metaphysics as well. You'll often hear me talk on quantum physics a lot, right? Isaiah 43:1, do not fear, I have redeemed you. Do not fear, I have redeemed you. You shall know the truth shall set you free, right? So being freed from the fear, right? And let not your heart be troubled. Beautiful. So like I mentioned, fear is designed to alert you, to refine you, to strengthen you, to keep you safe. However, it is running amok right now on the planet. It is running amok right now on the planet. Why? Because it's getting into one being, either a spiritual fear or psychological fear. It's taking over their nervous system, their mind, and then they are spreading it out everywhere. And it's spreading like a virus or a plague. And then the more people that have this love that expands inside of them, it will stop this virus. It will slow down the virus. It won't be able to move like a plague that it is. That fear will slow down, right? But it comes through spiritual awakening, it comes through empowerment, and it comes through the truth, right? So I'm going to walk you through a couple steps here. All right, I'm going to walk you through a couple steps. Stopping scrolling is going to help immensely, right? So let's go through some practical steps of mastering this fear. All right. Step 1, slowing down the body. Go ahead and type that in the chat. Well, just step 1, slowing down the body, slowing down the nervous system. Just slowing down just a little bit. Step 1. Slowing down the body. So, you're not scrolling, you're slowing down, right? You're not flipping television, you're not speeding things up. Anytime you're in fear, you want to speed things up. You're slowing down the body, you're going the opposite direction, right? Deep inhales, long exhales. You want to tell your nervous system that you're safe in that moment. You're slowing down, going for a walk, whatever it may be. Removing things that want to move quickly. I speak on the mind like a moving river, moving water, right? Sometimes this river moves very, very fast. The current, you can't slow it down. You take out your paddle, you're on your raft. I want to slow this down. It's moving too quickly. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this energy, and it's moving towards the waterfall, right? We got to slow it down and get you to dry land. Okay. Number 2, name it. Just simply name it. Notice it and name it, and don't be afraid of it. It's an energy moving. I feel fear right now. Just name it. Go ahead and type that in chat. Step 2, you name it. You're just simply naming the response, and you are noticing the energy. I see fear. I notice fear in the body. Yep, step 2 is just noticing and naming it. Right. I feel fear. Aha, I see you, fear. That energy that's moving through. Aha, I see you, fear. Right. It's going to move a lot of it out of reaction into awareness. You're noticing. Instead of it just simply completely running you at that point. You're naming it and identifying it. That's right. Step 3, we're going to question it. Step 3, we're going to question it. Not judge it, not hate it, but question it. Not judge it, not hate it, but question it. Step 3, not judge it, not hate it, but question it. And not fear it, right? Because if you fear the fear, then where are you spinning? If you fear the fear, then where are we spinning to, right? So we question it, not judge it, not fear it, but we question it. Excellent. Is this real danger? Go ahead and type that in the chat. Is this real danger? Is my social life, my health of my body, my finances, is it in trouble? Is this real danger? Is this real danger? Okay. Social media, the news, the radio is designed to put fear in you a lot of the time, even if it's thousands of miles away, and it has nothing to do with your immediate environment. But it will run your being. It will run your thoughts, your belief systems, your emotions, your actions, your habits. And you will see that in a lot of people in the world, or in America right now. So is this real danger? Is it learned fear? Go ahead and type that in the chat. Is it learned fear? Is my nervous system, is my brain doing something that it has learned? Is it learned fear? Go ahead and type that in the chat. Is this a learned fear? Is it learned? Is this a learned fear? Okay. And then the last one I'm going to add in there, is this a spiritual fear? Is this just simply the spirit of fear? Right? Is this the spirit of fear? Because if there isn't a physical fear, and if there isn't a social fear, and it's not a learned fear, if it's none of those three, is this a spiritual fear? Is this a spirit that is running my vessel right now? Is this an entity that is enjoying this environment of fear? Beautiful. So, is this a real danger? Number one. Is this an actual real danger in my immediate environment for my actual life? Right? Because oftentimes you will find yourself involved in things that have nothing to do with you, and yet you'll feel angry or fearful. That's how it's designed to overtake your mind. Is it a learned fear? Is it a real danger? Or is it a spirit of fear? Right? Okay. Next up, we have moving through it. Go ahead and step in. Go ahead and step in right now. If any of you are feeling fear in this moment, go ahead and step in right now with me. All right? This is where we move through it. We move through it. Step 4, we move through it. Step 4 is we move through it. Everything you've ever wanted is always is on the other side of fear. The cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. Joseph Campbell. Susan Jeffers, feel the fear and do it anyway. Right? Helen Keller, avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than exposure. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Right? Mark Twain, courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not based, right? Not absence of fear. Courage is resistance to fear and the ability to walk through it, mastery of fear, not the absence of it. Okay, so moving through it, fear is dissolved through action unless it's spiritual fear. Please type that in the chat. Fear is dissolved through action unless it's spiritual fear. All right, if it's the spirit of fear, action's not going to get through it. Okay, but if it has to do with a physical threat or psychological, a social structure fear, for example, the fear of being seen, the fear of turning on a camera, the fear of public speaking, the fear of driving a car, the fear of whatever, right? That's going to be action that will break it. Fear is dissolved through action unless it's a spiritual fear. Okay? Spiritual fear is going to be different. Spiritual fear is broken by truth. It's broken by the higher mind. It's broken by light. It's broken by the Christ. Right? Okay, so moving through it and feeling it in its intensity and also the disidentification of it at the same time. For example, I notice this body and this mind going through this fear right now because I've never walked on stage before. I walk on stage and I notice there's some social fear. All right, I'm disidentifying with it and just noticing and letting it do what it needs to do. I understand. I get it, body. We're going to move through this fear in this moment. Because the second we move through it, it will no longer be there. You have now adapted to the fear. You have now adapted and moved through the fear. Okay? So moving through it, fear dissolves through action unless it's a spiritual fear. Because if it's a spirit of fear, even if you're taking action, it's still going to want to run your vessel. Right? Excellent. Step 5, transmute it. Go ahead and type that in. Transmute it next. So next we transmute the fear. Next up, we transmute the fear. Go ahead and type that in the chat. We transmute the fear. Let's go. You got it. Transmute the fear. So how do we transmute energy? All right, how do we transmute energy? Through the higher mind, through the processing of feeling it fully one, redirecting it. So redirecting this movement, this high energy, into something else for 2. So feel it 1, redirect it for 2. Feel it 1, redirect it for 2. So feel the energy fully, and then we move it into speaking, creating, taking action, leading, right? It's a very quick way to transmute this energy if you become a master of it. So rather than your nervous system and your brain putting you into a place of a freeze response where I can't move, I can't do anything, it gets transmuted into movement itself. So feeling it fully, seeing it, and then putting it into movement, into creating something, into working out, into going for a run, whatever it may be. You're feeling all of this intensity of fear. I'm going for a run. I'm getting it moving, right? You're redirecting it, feeling it and redirecting it. So instead of it being able to control you and put you into a ball, or you are in the corner of your room or laying in bed, I'm so afraid, right? Redirecting it. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, do the thing that you fear and the death of fear is certain. Do the thing that you fear and the death of fear is certain. What is it that you're afraid of doing? Right? The only thing that doesn't apply to is spiritual fear, okay? The only thing that's not going to apply to is the spirit of fear when it's not psychological, when it's not social, and when it's not physical. when the whole being is just overtaken 100% of the time, or a lot, not 100%, but a lot of the time, right? This is a Japanese proverb. Fear is only as deep as the mind allows it to be. Fear will only go as deep as your mind allows it to go, right? Everything's always working out for your highest and greatest good, Deborah, as you find yourself in here this evening. As this, right? Everything is always working out in your perfect divine timing as you're hearing this voice here tonight. So, of course, you look back and you say, wow, I wish I would have known these things years ago. You weren't meant for it years ago. You're meant for it now. Go ahead and type in the chat, everybody. I'm meant for it now, right? That's why you're hearing this voice right now. You're meant to hear this now. If for those of you who can understand it, it's part of your journey, right? You're meant to hear it now. Right? Meant for it now. It's very easy to fall into the I could'ves, I should'ves. On the YT, I just released that video. I'll release it on TikTok here soon. Stop shoulding all over yourself. I know someone in here that I've done one-on-ones with before. They'll enjoy that. That came from a one-on-one. Stop shoulding all over yourself. I should do this. I shouldn't have done that. I wish I would have done this. It's contracting your energy when you're shoulding all over yourself, right? I should have learned this years ago, whatever it is, right? You're meant for it now. So you'll be able to move into conscious choice. You'll be able to move into, do I want to do this? Yes. Can I do this? Yes. Or do I want to do this? No. Right? It'll become much more simple. Life will become much more simple when fear isn't running your being. You'll simply look at something and say, do I want to do this? Yes. Okay, I can do this. Or do I want to do this? No. So I won't do it. Right? Moving into pure free will and conscious choice, not being run by these emotional triggers, not being run by the responses of the world, by the anger, by the frustration, by the opinions, the judgments, the comparisons, and the fears. Right? All sorts of things. Judgments, all that. Right? George Adar says everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. I'm not sure if I said his last name right. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. It might be Adair. Adair or Adar. Right?
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Right? Joseph Campbell says the cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. All of those beautiful treasures that you want inside of yourself or in life, it lays right past those fears. Right? Walking through a fear, challenging a fear, casting a fear out. The love, the peace, the contentment, the money, the job, the relationship, whatever it is laying past those fears. Right? Michelle, unconditional love is all of existence. The truth is unconditional love. Everything that is in physical form is finite, right? Nothing is infinite in physical form, so it can't be unconditional. There's always an attachment there. But that which is eternal is unconditional. And that's the truth, right? The truth behind all things is a purely unconditional love. All right. Susan Jeffers, feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah, God's love, right? Ralph Waldo Emerson, fear defeats more people than any other thing. Right? Fear defeats more people than any other thing. So there's no ego identity that can do that. There's no ability. Only spirit can do that. There's no ability for a human to do that. Unconditional means unconditional. There's no condition. There's no physical condition to anything. There's no circumstantial condition. Right? There's no circumstantial condition. Right? Fear defeats more people than anything. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's right. Excellent. Beautiful. I'm going to run through a couple scriptures again. As I say this, please allow it to sink into you, as these are words of truth and a higher love and a higher light, and that which casts out fear and starts to bind those things up and give more power to love, and to give more power to light, and give more power to a higher mind. So 2 Timothy 1:7, God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Power, love, and a sound mind. Spiritual power, love inside, and connection. And then that sound mind is clarity, it's peace inside, it's the ability to create and live from the present moment and not live from the future or the past, right? You're living from the present moment. That's a sound mind, a clear mind. Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. What does that mean? Right? Courage is not necessarily the absence of fear, but it's when the heart is present and you're willing to go in anyway. Courage does not mean that there's no fear there. It means your heart is present and you're willing to go through it anyway. Right? That's courage. That's determination. There might be a little bit of fear there might be fear there, but I'm willing to go in anyway because my heart is present and my soul wants this for myself. Go ahead and type that in the chat. My soul wants this for myself. That's courage. That's determination. When you trust what your soul wants on your journey, my soul wants this for myself. That's courage. That's determination. If your soul wants something for yourself, you will walk in a place of courage and you will face something anyway, even if there's some fear there. For example, a lot of the times when someone signs up for a one-on-one with myself, they feel fear in the beginning. They're afraid because they don't know what to expect. They've never been in something like that before. I don't know what to expect, right? There's fear there, but I'm willing to do it anyway, right? I hear that all the time. Yeah, I have some fear. I don't know what to expect. I'm afraid about doing this, but I wanted to do it anyway because I feel like I'll get some transformation. I feel like something will happen. And they're right. They're right. I'm going to pin a link for those of you who are interested in a very unique special one-on-one with myself. I specialize in transformation of the emotions, of the thoughts, of the mind, right? Bringing you into a new identity with more freedom, a greater sense of peace, love, joy, and harmony. I always meet everybody where they're at on their journey. Sometimes I'm working with people on grieving, sometimes fear, sometimes addiction, sometimes a lot of emotional pain, whatever it is, right? Hopelessness. Sometimes it's just that feeling of being stuck or procrastinating, and then moving you into a more abundant feeling version of yourself so you can create, so you can explore in life and move in a new way. Or sometimes people sign up for them because they go, look, I've listened to a lot of people, I've read a lot of books, I've listened to a lot of teachers, and I'm not getting that spiritual connection I'm truly looking for, and for some reason I hear your voice and I feel like you're going to bring me there. Okay, so if you feel called like that's me on your journey, fill out the link on the bottom left if you're ready to move into a higher place of your spiritual empowerment and a deeper truth and a connection inside of yourself. If you feel like I'm the person to get you there, fill out the link in the bottom left and we will move in that way. Excellent. Psalms 34:4. He delivered me from all of my fears. He delivered me from all of my fears. Fear gets removed from the brain, from the nervous system response. He delivered me from fear. Who is this he? The higher light, the higher mind, right? The light of Christ. Isaiah 41:10, fear not, for I am with you. Fear not, for I am with you. Not in the clouds. I'm with you right here, right now. Fear not. I am inside of you. I'm more near and dear than your own understanding about yourself. Right. Isaiah 43:1, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. When you feel reborn, when you feel redeemed in your identity, you will no longer fear. This guy used to have immense social environment fears. Immense fears with all sorts of things. Fear of losing money, fear of starting a business, fear of being seen, fear of being shamed, fear of being heard, fear of walking out of my own apartment, all sorts of things. What's the deepest of fears? The fear of death, right? The fear of death and the fear of judgment of God is the deepest of deep. Most of those are very unconscious, though. Those are two fears that are very unconscious that most people don't face until their end of their days, right? But this guy had to face those fears because I was on a living bed for a very long time. So the fear of death and the fear of judgment of God those are the two biggest. Those are by far the two biggest in any human identity and any ego. It's just people don't face it until they're on their final days. And then that's when they come to this recognition of, oh my gosh. Why? Because they're just living life. They're just living their life and not thinking about those kind of things. But those will always be the two deepest. If you ever are able to finally face the fear of death or the fear of judgment of God, this is why a lot of people who go through NDEs, near-death experiences, or they actually do die, and then they come back to their body, how are they after they come back? When they come back, there's no fear. They enter back into their body and they come back and talk to people, and you can hear it in their voice. You can hear it in their being. You're like, wow, they have no fear. Why? Because they faced the fear of death. They went through the experience, right? They are transformed into the immense peace, right? And they faced the judgment of God. They faced it, right? So someone who has an NDE, if they have a true one, oftentimes you'll hear their voice and they won't have any fear in their being. It'll be cleansed clean. Fear gone. Why? Because the two deepest fears in the nervous system in the brain for a human is the fear of death and the fear of judgment of the creator. Those are like the two biggest, but they're unconscious, right? That's for the ego identity. I'm going to have to look at the things I've done. I'm going to have to look at the things that I've said to people. I'm going to, right? I'm going to have to look at these things. And then losing the body, losing everything itself, right? Because you don't get to take anything with you in this physical experience. I don't get to take my money. I don't get to take my friends, well, whoever, right? I don't get to take any of that stuff. Psalm 23:4, I will fear no evil. Psalm 23:4, I will fear no evil. Deuteronomy 31:6, he will never leave you. He will never leave you. Well, what about that? What about this? He will never leave you. It is through the detachment of self and giving fear a greater power over your being where it grows. It is giving the power to fear in your experience and filling your eyes and your ears with it and feeding it. It's like feeding a monster. How many of you have ever seen the movie Little Shop of Horrors? How many of you have ever seen the movie Little Shop of Horrors?
When the unexpected is staring you in the face, fear is there to keep you safe.
Any of you ever seen Little Shop of Horrors? Okay. So, the more that Seymour feeds that plant, feed me, Seymour, feed me, the more he gives it his blood, the more he gives it his life force. The blood in that movie represents life force, okay? So the more that Seymour is giving it his life, his energy, his attention, his blood, it's growing, it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's turning into this big monster, right? Feed me, Seymour, feed me. Feed me, Seymour, give me more, right? That's fear, okay? It's saying feed me, give me more of your attention, give me more of your energy, give me more. And then it grows and it grows into this big monster. All right. So if you're giving it any attention, if you're feeding it, if you're watching things, movies, news, television, you're feeding the beast. Feeding the beast. If you're engaging on videos, if you're liking videos that are spreading and talking about fear, you're feeding the beast. And it's this big feed me Seymour plant. Feed me Seymour. Give me your energy. Give me your time. Give me your attention. Give me your blood. Right? Excellent. Psalms 56:3, when I am afraid, I trust in you. When I am afraid, I trust in you, Lord. Right? Psalms 56:3, when I am afraid, I trust in you. And do not let your heart be troubled. He will never leave you. Perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love casts out all fear. All right. So a very powerful talk on fear tonight. We're going to run through it just briefly for those who haven't been in here. If you've never seen this channel before, I go by Josh, Joshua, or Elion. Josh, Joshua, or Elion. I am a master in hypnotherapy and neurolinguistic programming as well. I specialize in that spiritual connection, bringing people into the most abundant version of themselves, and then transforming emotions, thought patterns, and the real transformation of the self. This is the channel of real results. It doesn't play around with your soul journey. I don't play around with your freedom, with your peace, with your love, with your joy. I will never play around with those things. This guy is designed to free people, right? So if you feel called, at the bottom, there's a couple things going on. I have a free ebook for anyone who's interested. If you would like the free ebook, make sure to fill out the link on the bottom left here. It's all about moving into a higher aligned version of yourself, transforming in your spiritual and soul journey, right? So if you'd like the free ebook, you'll be a deeper part of the community, and it's about your spiritual and soul path. All right, so just say free ebook in the bottom left. I'll make sure to get that to you. If you want to know about the one-on-ones, but you're very special, very unique, same thing, fill out the link in the bottom left, just say one-on-ones. And then depending on what you're going through in your mind or with your emotions, we can take a look. It's all about causing a greater sense of peace, love, joy, harmony, and freedom inside. Excellent. Yeah, Carla, make sure to fill out the link in the bottom left, say free ebook. Beautiful. Every Monday through Friday, everybody. These are very unique. This is only Saturday and Sunday nights when we talk about higher consciousness, the new earth, awakenings within, and that's very strong spiritual shift for your journey. These are unique Saturday and Sunday nights. I also allow people to come up and talk. They can ask questions. They can release emotions if you need to. Sometimes people just talk about their own journey, like NDEs or their spiritual experience. Right, so I will have some people come up and talk before we're done here tonight as well. And this is Saturday and Sunday only. Otherwise, Monday through Fridays are very different, but they're beautiful. It's all still designed for the most abundant version of yourself. Monday through Friday mornings are 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're for waking up. They're for feeling very energized, spiritually empowered. They're affirming and activating. And it's the most beautiful community you could ever imagine. They all want to see you in love. They want to see you live your life in a joyful place. They want to see you make money and succeed. So if you ever want to come in those morning lives, they're very, very uplifting. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the nighttime lives are the ones that are designed for sleep, for peace, for rest and meditation. That is when my master hypnotherapy comes out and is transforming tens of thousands of people's night sleep, where they can actually sleep the whole night through. They're no longer having nightmares or night tremors, and now beautiful dreams. And it truly is a gift that I can give to everybody that is willing to listen. This guy has certain talents that gets used in certain ways, and one of them is putting people to sleep. So I allow that talent to come out, and it will help a lot of people rest. Right? Excellent. So if you haven't given a follow thus far, make sure to do so. If you haven't grabbed your daily heart me, let's get that daily heart me goal at the top. We're at 180 right now. Let's get it up to 200 before this one ends. That'd be great. You're all awesome. Good to see you, Junie. Thanks for being in here. Welcome to the channel as well. Excellent. Yeah, CC, I'm going to respond to them all after the live. I'm going to end up, so just make sure to double check your DMs after I'm done here. I'm going to respond to them all after the live here. Okay. Let's go, Telby. Let's go. Excellent. You're awesome. You're awesome. So what we've covered thus far is fear. Right? Tonight we're talking immensely on fear. Why? Because it's being spread everywhere. It's being spread on all the social media. It's being spread on the news. It's being spread in the media. And people are falling into fear in a very, very powerful way. It's overtaking the mind, the brain, the nervous system. So I pointed to 3 different fears. There's the physical fear. Is my body actually in physical danger right now? Is there a bear around me? Does someone have a weapon? Right? Whatever it may be. Are you in spiritual fear? Hi, Laura. I'll only do codes. I'll only do quantum codes in certain videos, but make sure to watch all the videos and be on the channel, and I will post some quantum codes as well. All right. So, spirit. So we've got physical fear. Let's go, Tina. We have social fear. Confetti. Let's go with confetti. We have social or psychological fear. Right? That's going to be fear of being seen. That's going to be fear of being heard. That's going to be the fear of losing your job or losing money, right? Your social status type of fears. The fear of being rejected in a relationship, whatever it may be. And then we've got spiritual fear. So that's next level. That's going to be when a spirit of fear is just running your life. It's almost like every one of your decisions is being made by fear, or your nervous system can't get out of it. So even though there's no physical fear, there's no social fear, in the moment you're still feeling all this fear. Right? So that's spiritual fear. Right? Okay, excellent. When we come to an understanding that we are creating in the ever-present moment of the right here, right now, through our thoughts, through our emotions, and we are in a field of energy emanating. If we are feeling a lot of fear, what are we creating more of? Right? If we're feeling a lot of fear, what are we creating more of? Go ahead and just type in the chat what your answer would be. What are we creating through our body, through our mind, if we're feeling fear? We're creating more fear. That's right. Energy. We're creating maybe some anxieties, yeah. How about loss? Can we lose things? Can things get broken? Can things fall apart? Can we fall into anger? Right? Can we fall into frustration? Can we get very heated in arguments or opinions? Right? So, fear at the root is going to cause a lot of other things going on in our life, right? It can cause many things to start falling apart, right? You become very reactive. You can fall into anger, frustration. You can get heavily opinionated, right? So what I pointed to is most people think fear is a weakness, a problem, and something to eliminate. But in truth, it's something to understand, to learn from, to transmute. Right? In truth, it's something to learn from, to understand, to transmute, and to walk into a higher power. Okay? So oftentimes it can just simply be a signal, a survival response, an amplifier of your awareness. But it's being used against a lot of people right now. It's being used against a lot of people. Why do you think there's a headline in the news every 3 days now? A big headline. You need to see this urgent. Every 3 days. Every 2 days. Every 1 day. Urgent. 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 You need to see this right now. Urgent. Every 2, 3, 4 days. 5 days. Whatever it is, right? Big headlines. Right? Why? Because it will keep the fear in rotation. It will keep it building. We can't allow it to dissipate. We can't allow fear to dissipate. We need to keep it spinning. We need to keep it building. We can't allow people any opportunity to connect and disconnect with us and with disconnect with fear. So it will either control your life or awaken your power. Fear has got two things it can do. We can either awaken our power through the fear, through the courage, through a higher mind, through a higher light, or it will control our life. It will create your decisions for you, right? Because fear begins in the body, and your body will move before you're even able to think about it most of the time. Before you're even able to logically think about fear, it's just controlling and moving your body. It's an amygdala brain response. It's a brain stem response as well. And it's of the animalistic mind. It is not of the prefrontal cortex or where you're actually making sound decisions. So it is not asking, is this logical? Your body is just simply responding to, how do I stay safe, right? What is going to keep me safe? Let's go, Telby. Let's go, Telby. You're awesome. So the cortisol will rise, the stress response, right? The stress hormones. Adrenaline will release, the heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, your digestion shuts down, the muscles will tense, your immune system lowers. So those of you who are feeling fear all the time might often find that you're getting sick a lot more, or you can't digest food. Why? Because that is what happens when the nervous system is spinning in that way. It doesn't care about digesting food. It doesn't care about keeping a high immune system. It cares about being immediately safe in the present moment by whatever means possible, right? So there's a very famous doctor. I don't remember his name, even though he's very famous. He's all over social media right now. Some of you might know who he is. So he, during the big, I gotta be careful with my words. When everybody on the planet was getting very sick and a lot of people were being unalived by it, he had a clinical practice where instead of using what they wanted him to, he was treating the spirit of fear. He was tackling the fear inside of people. And guess what? He didn't lose one person. Where all these other clinical practices around him were losing person after person after person. And then he got sued by the government for $1 billion. $1 billion. Can you imagine getting sued for $1 billion? How could you ever recover from $1 billion suit? And how can you fight the government? The government sues you? What type of lawyer can you get against that? Right? What type of lawyer could you ever get against that? So instead of it being recognized, oh yeah, that's a good idea, we should tackle fear. No one, you mean you didn't lose one patient? Not one. And he didn't use any sort of meds. He just looked at the fear behind it all. And he said, this fear is lowering people's immune system. This fear is causing this virus to spread. This fear is causing people's organs to shut down, and it's taking over. So fear works like a plague, all right? And of course, he gets sued for $1 billion because that's how the structure works. What does Jesus say? Your battle is not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and powers of the evils and the darkness of this world. They will use fear to control money because those who have money will stay in power. That's how it works, right? That's how it's always going to work. So fear is working faster than thinking. Your body is reacting milliseconds before the mind can catch up. Right? Your body is reacting milliseconds before your mind can catch up. So we just want to pay attention when fear becomes chronic, because it will be serving you in a lot of situations. If someone says, hey, slam this bottle of alcohol or whatever, and you're afraid to do it. No, it's not a good idea. I'm fearful something bad will happen to me. Good. Right? I'm glad that you are afraid of that because something bad will happen, right? If you don't feel any fear in that moment, that's not such a good thing for your body. Right? I'm afraid of jumping out of an airplane or walking on a tightrope 50 feet in the air. That's designed for a good reason, right? It's designed for a good reason, to keep you physically safe. So not every fear is this terrible thing, right? But then there's also the fear of rejection. There's the fear of uncertainty. There's the fear of the future. There's a fear of the judgments, financial stresses, the unknowns, almost as if they're all life-threatening in the moment, right? And this is what will lead to the panic, to the anxiety, to the overthinking, to the avoidance, to the curling up in a ball or a shell, emotional reactivity, feeling stuck, right? All those things. So your system is working, but it's overfiring. Right? The system is working, but it is just overfiring. It's overactivated, and it's not serving you. It's harming you. And it's energetic. Fear is energetic. So what's the opposite of fear then? What is the opposite of fear? What would be the opposite of fear then? Love, courage. Acceptance, love, courage. What's the opposite of fear? Truth. Definitely truth. Love and trust. Love and trust. Acceptance, love, and trust, right? Acceptance, love, and trust is going to be the opposite of fear. Okay. So this opens you up. Yeah, this opens you up to where you feel safe, where you can receive. Your digestion is working again. Your immune system's increasing again. Your hormones are balancing. You can now create. You can explore. You can adventure. You can connect. So you're feeling more balanced. You're feeling more at peace. You're feeling more connected, aligned, right? Safe. And the body can actually function in its normal functions again. This is the deer grazing in the grass. That's how I use that analogy a lot, right? What happens when a deer shows up and you see it just eating, munching on the grass? It's just doing its thing. It's very peaceful. It's very calm. Now a hunter shows up or a wolf shows up. What's the deer going to do? Immense amount of fear, right? There's a lot of fear there. It starts to run. It runs. There's a lot of fear there. Its life is in danger, real physical danger, right? It sees a hunter, a weapon, or the wolf, real physical life danger. It runs. By design, it needs to stay alive. However, after some time, a few hours go by, or a half hour or an hour goes by, the hunter is gone. The wolf is gone, and then what? Right? What happens after that? Go ahead and type in the chat. What happens after that? After the hunter is gone, after the wolf is gone, what happens after that? It regulates and goes back to grazing in the grass, right? It's safe. It relaxes. It's safe and relaxes, right? Now, humans have a different response. We're living by memory. We're living by the past. We're not living in the present moment oftentimes. So you're not able to just go back to grazing in the grass. You're looping. That's right. No, the hunter came, the wolf came. I can't relax, right? What if they're right around the corner again? What I'm not safe. They're right around the corner. I'm not safe, right? This is why one-on-ones with someone like myself who understands this process very, very well is extremely powerful. If you feel like you're stuck in fear loops, if you're acting on fear a lot, right? Very, very powerful. Always going in the what ifs, yeah. What if that, what if this, what if that, right? So moving you back into peace, into love, into joy, into harmony, getting connected with the truth of yourself again, the pure love essence, and your inner child, moving back into receiving, flowing, creating, adventuring and exploring, and loving life. fear is going to be this compressed energy a lot of the times. And when we don't resist it, when we just go into it, when we learn from it, we can transform it. So when we're willing to go into it, to learn from it, we can transform it. But when we run from it, when we hide, when we distract, when we numb, this is when it will continue to run. Right? Or if you just continue to fill your eyes up with it and you feed the beast. Right. All right, excellent. We're going to go ahead and move into the conversations. I'm gonna go ahead and allow that now at this point. I'm gonna get away, move these viewer wishes out of the way. You're gonna see two little people on the bottom left now. Speaking of fear, if you're feeling the fear to come up, face it. The greatest treasures that you seek lay in the caves that you dare not enter. There is one thing that is certain. When you face fear, the death of fear will happen. Right? So, two little people on the bottom left, the pink and blue people. Let's go, Sonia. Thank you for the hand heart. If you want to come up and ask about certain questions about your journey, if you want to talk about your experience, your soul journey or experience, feel free to talk away. If you need to emotionally release or have something cleared, feel free to come up. Right? Most of the time they're designed for one-on-ones with myself, but I am always designed to shine more truth on it. Let's go, Casey. Welcome in. Let's go. Welcome in. Who wants to be the first brave soul tonight? It's always the hardest is whoever breaks the ice first. Who's going to be the icebreaker? Who's the brave soul to come up tonight? All right. If you want to come talk about your journey, come release emotions, ask questions, whatever it may be. Hello. Good to see you. And now is the point in time in the night where we have some people come up. Yeah, no, welcome in. I always try and give everybody a welcome who grabs those daily heart me's or becomes super fans. It's hard to say hello to everybody who gives a follow, but if you're in the chat, if you're blowing up the chat, hi Tim, like that, or absorbs the orbs, good to see you. Absorbing the orbs. All right, excellent. We got Terry wants to come up here. And I know you don't mind if I use your real name, so that's why I am. I'm going to go ahead and change the music here for y'all as well, because it'll be a little bit easier to hear everybody. Be a little bit easier. We will do Cosmic Drift instead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hi, Terry.
Hey.
Thanks so much for coming up and breaking the ice.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about a fear that I had, and it was probably about, am I talking too loud? I can't really tell because I have my headphones on.
No, that's actually perfect. My volume's up all the way, so
okay, good.
I think it's good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was talking to this guy, and we had been talking for a while. I met him about a year ago, and I messed it up because I deleted the chat, and he said, and I had told you all this in the one-on-one, but I just kind of wanted to share it with everybody. And then he came back, he thought, okay, I'm going to give her another chance. And we were talking, and then he messaged me on his other thing, and for some reason, it was like this immense amount of, I don't know, just fear that came over me, and I wasn't, there was no physical danger, there was no anything, it was just an automated response, and I just hung up the chat. Anyway, I just wanted to say that you helped me a lot when I was talking to you in the one-on-one, and I recommend those to everybody who's listening tonight. That it's just really great. It's a great way to release that kind of thing, and then to look at it and figure out, what was really going on, when it was your nervous system, of course. So, anyway.
Yeah, because in that one, it's going to be a fear of either falling in love, fear of being hurt, right? Maybe fear of dealing with certain other things when it comes to relationships, whatever it may be. So there's always a design behind it. There's always a design behind the fear. And it wasn't a spiritual fear, because that would just mean that you're just living in fear 24/7 or a lot most of the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Excellent. Thank you for coming up and sharing. Did you want to talk about anything else about the journey? And I appreciate you mentioning about the one-on-ones as well.
Yeah, no problem. I think that finding your inner child, going back to that it's such a great thing, because when you can access that, and you can live with that wonder, like you don't know what's going to happen. So you're just, it frees you up so much. And that's been a good thing. So.
It's a beautiful place to be when your truth starts to come back out. When the joy and the child and the innocence starts to play again, and you start to actually follow the heart and your creativity, and you're no longer living by that which has been put inside of you by the world, right? Yeah,
Yes.
it's an amazing thing.
It really is. Well,
Excellent, beautiful.
thank you for letting me come up and share.
No, thank you, Terry, for coming up. Yeah, you've been incredible. Terry's been incredible for the channel and her journey as well. So everybody give Jersey some love here. Thank you. Thank you for coming up.
You're welcome. Bye.
Everybody give Jersey some love and some appreciation for coming up, as she broke the ice for all of you. And now I have a lot more people signing up. That's normally what happens. So go ahead on the bottom left with the pink and blue people if you want to come up and chat. If you have questions about the journey, if you want to speak about your own experience, or if you need to emotionally release, any of the three are perfectly fine. And it's Stephanie next who is on the list. So I'll go ahead and invite Stephanie up. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you.
It's pretty crazy that I just scrolled past this. I don't usually do TikTok much, but recently I guess I have been. I've kind of destroyed my life the past 4 months. And now that I'm finally coming out of it and trying to heal and trying to, get out of the fear, and my nervous system has just been stuck.
Yeah.
It's just been, and to look back, I've done this same thing my whole entire life with relationships. And now here I am. I just ruined my 11-year-old marriage and my son. And it's just so much that I was just stuck in that,
So patterns, right? All we're noticing is destructive patterns, but that doesn't mean that you've ruined your life. So oftentimes,
no, I haven't. But it's like, I'm awake now. Like, it's like now or never, because if I don't do it now, I will just continue to do the same thing, and I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
rock bottom will often wake people up in a very powerful way, and it moves you into determination. I'm determined to make changes.
Yeah.
Now that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And like she said with the inner child, like
ahead.
I believe that too. Like I did this breath work the other night, and I can't even explain how intense it was. It was like a 45-minute breath work, and I was back in my past with my 5-year-old self and my 18-year-old self, and we were having conversations and we were hugging. It was unbelievable, out of this world, So
you were going through more of a transcendental experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm
That's
happy to
beautiful.
be here. Yeah.
One of the most powerful quotes is, circumstances do not define who you are, but they reveal us to ourselves. So we're revealed to how our emotions, how our thoughts, how our belief systems created this current reality that we're living. Yeah. But now you're moving into this new version of yourself where you're going, whoa.
I can picture it. And that's what I need. That's what I'm going for. And I'm determined to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you sound very determined.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share about your experience, about your journey, or any questions that you want to answer while you're up here? Or?
I really don't know. It's been a lot. It's been crazy, and I'm only just now finally coming out of it. And now my husband left, and I don't have my kid, and I finally have a chance to breathe, and look back and just hope that I can fix all the damage I've caused. And,
So what would actually be that which mends and heals the damage?
What was that?
What is it? What is that which will mend and heal any damage that's done?
To be better and to do better, to completely change myself, I feel like, and heal, you know?
So love in a higher mind
Love.
will mend and
Literally love. The opposite of fear.
yeah, right.
The
love
acceptance
will mend
and
and heal. Yeah, exactly.
let go of the
Yeah, beautiful.
resentments and, you know, be vulnerable and let go of the wall. Put the wall down. Stop blaming everyone else.
Yeah. So in the Bible, it talks about how God will restore everything that the devil has stolen from you. And when it's pointing to that, it's talking about that which was destructive in life.
Yeah.
The fears or the pains and the traumas and the addictions, whatever's there, that's what it all gets restored when we move into a higher mind or into love.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I foresee you absolutely having a relationship with your children. I don't know if the marriage will come back together, but I've seen it time and time again. I've seen lots and lots of things happen when you work on yourself.
Our love is so strong. We're both damaged people. We're both ex-drug addicts, you know, and have plenty of time so clean, but you know, it's all just there. It's just pent up years of.
So I don't see you as a damaged person whatsoever.
Yeah.
I see you in your truth, right?
Yeah.
So that's memory. That's memory that's talking, but it's not the truth of your highest self, of your light and the inner child. Your inner child knows you're not damaged. She knows. She's like, no, I'm not damaged, right?
No, I'm a great person. I am. I have so much. I have so much to live for. I'm blessed. I really am blessed.
Yeah, 100%.
It's time to see that and, you know, appreciate it.
Yeah. And be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So when you're coming into a true awakening, a new identity starts to live.
This is what it is. I'm building a whole new identity. I'm letting go of all of that, and I'm becoming
beautiful.
Someone new, someone amazing, and I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Yeah, and you're not broken.
Yeah.
Right? This is just another step on your journey, on your path into a higher love, into a higher understanding, and into a greater sense of wholeness.
For sure.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming up. Yeah, no, excellent. I look forward to seeing you in the channel more. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Everybody give Stephanie love for being another brave individual coming up and speaking. Thank you, Stephanie, for coming up. We're going to move into the next person. Go ahead and click on the bottom left here with the pink and blue people if you want to come up and chat, if you want to talk about your journey, your experience, if you want to ask questions, or if you need some sort of emotional release. We got Junie next. Hi, Junie.
Hi.
As I said your name right.
Yeah.
Right, Junie?
Yes, you did.
Okay, excellent.
And I just said, oh no, I think I'm next.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't even know where to begin. When
just speak as you feel called.
When they're talking about their inner child, it breaks me up. Because I was damaged as a child. And I was in therapy since I was 21. And I remembered most of being, I don't know how to say it, you know, by a family member. I was molested for years. And it stopped at 12. And I couldn't tell no one.
Yeah.
Until he died. And it was a step-grandfather. And I loved him dearly, but I made it stop. So when I was 21, I had my first child, and it was a boy. I started therapy. And I got into it a lot because that was what was really bothering me at the time. And I had a lot of sessions. And one day I went home and I was crying because there was so much that I had spoke about. I was relieving it, you know. And I told my mother, and She said, "Oh my God, I thought so." Well, that made my jaw drop to the ground because he always took me away on vacations to visit his side of the family because we weren't blood related. And so I said, "What do you mean? You thought so?" Well, she said, "I just had this feeling." Well, why didn't you stop it? Why didn't you question me? And she just put her head down and cried. And I comforted her. And so I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I kind of got angry that I'm 21 and it was happening from when I was 2. I can remember 2 because I lived in a little town where we moved a lot. My mother raised us on her own, but she kept getting pregnant by men that she would meet and bring in the home. And it was like, oh, here's the new daddy, the new daddy, the new daddy, you know. I had like 5 stepfathers, but I didn't want to deal with them. My real father stayed away from me, except to knock on a door every Saturday and hand my mother money for us. And I would run up to him. He'd just rub my head and say, "Oh, how you doing, kid?" And I'd be like stumped. Like I'm hearing him like 9 and 10, realizing my father has a whole new family, 4 other kids, 4 daughters, as a matter of fact. And that's all I got. So I think I just kept getting more angry and depressed, and depression set in. At 17, I tried to commit suicide.
Oh, be careful with that word, just because of TikTok.
Okay.
I appreciate you and I love you right now, but be careful with that word. Yeah. Thank you.
Thankfully, my mom was there. And then she did realize something was wrong, and she sent me to a place that I could go and talk to specialists and still do schooling. Okay, so now way into the future, I am 69 and I have tons of grandkids. All my children have moved out, and I was in therapy for, besides 2 years, I was in therapy for 12 years with a woman. And after 5 years, we mostly talked about the present. I was having trouble with my relationship of 24 years. I was having trouble with my daughters and my sons because they saw a lot of depression and crying and me going to them, and they did not want to hear it. So I felt alone, and I crawled into a hole, you might as well say, which was my bedroom. That was my safe haven. And so I started to tell my therapist this, and she told me, "You got to go into your past." And I'm like, no, it's the past. I want to work on what's wrong with me now. Please don't let me go into my past. It's over. And
So, Junie, I'm going to point to something. See how you say, "Please don't let me go into my past." There's a lot of beach balls. So I talk about beach balls when they're pushed under the water and they come up and they hit us in the face. There's a lot of emotion there. I can't look at it. It's too painful. So I'm not going to make you look at it right now because it's too painful for you to look at it. Right. But so one thing that Jesus says is that which is left in the darkness is that which will destroy you. Those are things in the unconscious mind. Those are things that are pushed down in the depths. But those that the things that you're willing to bring up into the light, to be mended, to be healed, to be brought into its place of wholeness and completion, that is what will save you. So I'm not a mental health therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm never meant to be. I'm not designed that way. I speak to everybody from a whole different level of understanding. For example, a lot of times when I work with someone, they go, Josh, I had a therapist for 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. How is it I worked with you for 2 hours and I feel better?
Yes. Because I wasn't brought to my higher consciousness. I was not awakened. I guess I still was sleeping because I wanted to sleep it away.
Yes. Beautiful.
And another reason for that was my husband, he was a Marine. I had 3 children with him. He passed away. We did separate because he got a mental illness that could not be controlled, and he wouldn't help himself. And so he moved back to his hometown. I live in the city, and he lived in the suburbs, 10 hours away. Well, he went back home to his mother because I couldn't take care of him. He was too far gone, and I didn't know why. And my baby girl was only 9 months old when he was gone. So I went into therapy for child guidance to learn how to talk to my children why daddy's not there no more. Because I did had to 302 him. I was very afraid of what he was going to do to me and my children. He was saying things, and it didn't make sense. I later learned he was schizophrenic. And it hit him at 23, and it just got progressively worse. And my last child I was 25, and it was a girl. So, and I was always more careful now to be around men, my mother's husbands, or anyone that wanted to date me. So I took care of my 3 babies by myself for a long time. And then I met this fellow. I've come to know he's a narcissist. He was a narcissist. He was evil. He was mean. He beat me. He beat my kids. And he did what was done to me to my little innocent baby girl. And found out
So I'm going to point to a couple things. You've lived a very unique experience. There has been a lot of traumas that have been built. So when we understand that we're bound to certain experiences and we have certain karmic patterns that we go through as a soul. Now, when you come into a place of true awakening, of spiritual empowerment, and there's a greater freedom, I point to that we live in polarities. Every north, there's a south. Every east, there's a west. Every hot, there's a cold. The same thing with perpetrators. For every perpetrator, there's a victim. Right? So there has to be someone that's taken advantage of, and for a perpetrator to exist.
Yeah.
So for your experiences in life, you've been attracted to a lot of people who have been the perpetrators, as living in the victim mentality, as living from a place of powerlessness, and places of fear, right? Lots of fear, lots of I'm going to be taken advantage of, or whatever it may be, and then these become magnets to the experience. But as you get pulled into the different magnet, the one of love, one of a higher mind, one of God overlooking your life, you'll no longer be a magnet to those type of people, and you won't be able to be taken advantage of in the same way.
Okay. Well, I found out, I surmised what was going on. I think because it happened to me, and I kept questioning her and over. I wasn't getting anywhere. And then one day, me and my daughter's stepfather, who was very kind to me in the beginning, and then he just made a 360 switch. And I wind up having a baby with him before I knew all this. And then I knew to quickly get there. My daughter started writing me letters, and she was only 6. And this was because she went to school. And the nun was telling me that she comes in very beautiful, her hair, her clothes, and by the time she leaves, her hair's all pulled out, it's in her face, she hides, she doesn't do her work. Can you tell me, is there something going on at home that she's being afraid of? And of course I didn't know, and then she asked me to kindly, gently ask her. Well, she asked me if she was getting punished. Was I using the old-fashioned way? Was I hitting her? No, never hit my children because my mother beat me so bad. I mean, I was thrown down steps. I was beat with heels. I was mentally, physically abused from my mom. And also watching all these men in and out and opening my bedroom door. None of them ever touched me that I could remember, but I could see it.
So even the deepest and darkest of pains and traumas and abuse can be mended and healed by the higher light and higher mind. Even that which seems to be the darkest and deepest of depths, God's love can mend and heal all of it. There is no impossibility there. For however much pain, the Spirit can do it. Whether someone is willing to move into that or surrender to it is the question, right? But all of it, I'm talking every bit can be washed clean. Every bit. I'm talking the immensity.
I did do that 25 years ago. I went to a beautiful Christian church, where they sang out loud and happiness, and I loved that.
Lots of joy.
I was born and raised Catholic, but it just didn't cheer me up. I felt worse when I left.
Yeah.
But me and my brand new partner, after court was done, and he got halfly punished of what I felt wasn't good enough. But my daughter was kept away from him, and so was his daughter. So now I tried to live a new life, and I met my partner, and then we started going to this church, and it was beautiful. When I walked out of there, fear went boom, smacked me right in the face. I didn't want to ever leave that church. I wanted to lay there and sleep there.
Beautiful.
God was in me. I mean, beautiful things were happening. I was awakening that, okay, this happened to me. It happened to my daughter. It's not going to ever happen again. I'm aware, and I won't let it happen. And I didn't, we didn't live together for 4 years, and had a conversation with my children. Would it be all right if we tried that? So to, make it a little bit shorter, my kids are now moved out for the last 10 years. And my partner, we never did get married, but he had a horrible accident at work, and it took him down for 10 years. He starts to get better, but he couldn't go back to work doing what he was doing. It was too hard for him. I was in a really bad accident, and 4 years later, I am now needing surgery. Cervical stenosis. They got a cut in my back and my neck, and my vertebrae have all collapsed. And so I sit here on my chair. Mostly I'm in bed. So it's making me very, very depressed. And I do take some of the rage out on my partner.
So I'm going to point to a couple things. You've mentioned a lot of fear, a lot of hopelessness or depression, a lot of rage.
Yeah.
So a lot of emotions that cause the nervous system, cause the brain, cause the body to get into this great place of disharmony, right? So then along with it, there's going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be a lot of bodily misfunction, and there might be not the proper foods as well. So this isn't shame or guilt. I'm just pointing to the truth in this moment, where those emotions, they're going to cause a lot of havoc on the body. This guy was on his deathbed for many, many years, almost 10 years, was crawling to the toilet, crawling to the bed, crying myself to sleep in the amount of pain, couldn't use the toilet anymore, was doing thousands of enemas to stay alive, basically. And there was so much fear, there was so much hopelessness and depression. And right? And God says, I will cause the breath of life to enter you. A crushed spirit dries up the bones, right? But a cheerful, good heart is good medicine. Yeah. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. So that's what I have to point to, is those emotional states, they're crushing the body.
Yes.
And they're crushing your soul.
Yes. And I miss who I used to be.
Thank you, Abigail.
You know, my family would say, you should be a comedian, because I'm just that happy-go-lucky, funny kind of girl. You know, the city girl. And I've lost that.
So that's the truth of yourself, though, that you were just speaking, right?
Yeah.
I'm a happy-go-lucky girl. That was your identity statement. That's the real me.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you're saying that's the real me. I'm a happy-go-lucky girl. Please. So it's something deep inside of you is saying, please hear me right now. This is the real me, which it's being heard. I know that's the real you. You're a happy-go-lucky girl. You like to make jokes and have fun in life and play with people. That's the real you. So what is the false? What is the fake?
I get on the floor and play with my grandchildren. And I could have the worst sore throat, and I'm screaming and running around with them. And after they leave, I collapse.
Yeah, because you're having so much fun. You use so much energy, and you're laughing. And
to see me happy, not like, woe is me. You know?
Right. And so when you're in that moment, do you not have more energy with them when you're playing with your kids? Yeah. So that playfulness is giving you more energy, is it not?
Yes.
So what are the other things doing? The projection of the mind as it spins and back into its pains and its traumas, right? It's depleting the being, right? All the energy is getting pulled, and it's depleting the energy from your cells, from your mind, from everything.
Why? So, I don't know why. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Stuck in fear responses, all sorts of things. But if you feel called to a one-on-one with myself, that's completely up to you. I can't force you to do it, but if you feel called, right, make sure to just DM me and look into the details. Right, many people have been through them, and there's been lots and lots of transformations, but that's completely up to you to decide.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I would like that.
Yeah, amazing talk here. Thank you so much for coming up, Junie. Yeah, you're a beautiful human. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Bye-bye. Everyone send Junie some love. Thank her so much for coming up. Everybody's conversation has ability to transform people, or they can see from different lenses. Understand everybody has a different perspective from that which they're seeing. Some people are going to see from a place of pain. Some people are going to see from a place of frustration. You might see from a place of jealousy or envy or anger or frustration or deep opinions. Cast your net to the right side. Cast it into the heart, right? Get out of the analytical thinking mind and cast yourself into the heart. Excellent. We'll go ahead and come up with the next one here. We have Addy. I'm not sure if it's Addy or 80. Next up we have T. I think Addy left or Addy left. T was in and out as well. Next up we have Miss Lord. Looks like she left also. If you want to come up and ask questions, if you want to talk about your own spiritual or soul journey, your own experience, or if you need to release emotions, on the bottom here. Sammy, I appreciate you for being in here, but if you're continuing to take away from everybody's experience, I will have to block you. I love you, but it's getting overwhelming for a lot of other people in the chat at this point. So you will get blocked if you continue. But if you want to come into a greater place of surrender and higher understanding, I will certainly welcome it. But there's too much attack going on out of you, right? There's the fight response is really, really high right now. So I'm going to just send you love and peace and gratitude on your journey. But if it continues, you will be blocked. Okay. We have Leaham. We got, I hope I said your name right. Is it Leaham?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Leaham.
Leaham. Okay, good to see you, brother. How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
Good. Yeah, I'm fabulous. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. What brings you up here this evening? Did you want to talk about your journey or ask any questions? Or?
Well, I'm in a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying the journey. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's good. I'm enjoying new peoples. I'm seeing the truth behind the eyes, and it's grateful.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying. I'm with the new things every day. With TikTok, I'm learning new things.
Beautiful. So can you explain a little bit more what you were talking about, truth behind the eyes? I know exactly what you're saying, but just for everybody, please explain your experience with that.
Well, how I can say, like, well, with religions, everybody says that it's closing up all things, but there's more freedom and more perspective to other things when we are in spirituality. Because I'm a Muslim person, and I enjoy spirituality, and voilà. And entities can speak with you. You can see with the third eye. It's a good thing.
Yeah, you've had an experience where your inner eye is awakening or been awakened? Excellent. Beautiful. And obviously moving into a greater place of love, as I feel that from your voice.
Yeah, I'm very happy with all around with good people. I'm very thankful.
Excellent. Yeah, you're in that place of gratitude as well. That's beautiful, brother. Thank you for being in here. Is there anything else you wanted to mention or ask questions or anything while you're up here?
Well, I hope everybody is good, and spiritual awakening can take time, but everything is good in the line, so I have filters.
Everything is good in the light. That's right. It's all okay. Everything's working out for your highest and greatest good. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, thank you too.
Excellent. Everybody gave Leaham some love. I have a little difficulty with his name, but Leaham. We're gonna invite the next person up. Theory.
Hello.
Hi, Theory. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, I love your background, higher consciousness. I'm actually going to school at Maharishi University for higher consciousness.
Oh, you are?
Uh-huh. It's called Higher Consciousness
Excellent.
and the Human Potential. That's the name of the degree.
Yeah.
So, pretty awesome.
So one of the greatest teachers for this guy on his journey was Ramana Maharshi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving the way that they tie quantum physics into like theology, and you go back and you see like a lot of the Vedic pundits and they're describing all of these things. And what's really neat is you're starting to see the science catch up now.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what Joe Dispenza points to a lot. You're going to hear me talk about quantum physics as well a lot, and how the brain, how the mind is functioning, and how the truth of Jesus's teachings were a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
About the transformation of the mind and using all these parables and stories to get people to act in a certain way to create certain things in their life. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's just great to see more and more people coming into this understanding because of the way that the globe is kind of coming unglued right now. You know, just really quick, we talked about it in school, and they said when you think about the collective consciousness of everyone on the planet, everybody's looking for the leaders, and the leaders aren't coming forward, and it's because we were meant to bring the leadership from within, the things that are inherent to us, the Christ consciousness that you were just speaking of. So I absolutely love that you're having these conversations and you're creating safe spaces for like-mindedness.
Yeah. So more and more leaders are showing up from this path. You'll see them in a greater and greater way, and the voices will get stronger, but it's coming from a different place. Instead of coming from, you need to take up a picket sign, it's coming from, you need to take up meditation, or we need to look inward, and there's going to be a stronger fire from within, right? Hey, we need to look at our own emotions, our own mind, our own actions, our own habits, and the voices get stronger as you hear like a voice like this self, but it's existence itself that is running itself for evolution, right?
Yes, I absolutely agree. Today was interesting.
Beautiful.
Today they had a mass meditation at 1 Eastern, and you just heard a lot of people discussing it, and you don't find that in the average everyday conversation with the people that you kind of circle through, but now you're starting to see it more and more on the internet, and it's finding people. So I love that so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the knowledge has an opportunity to spread much quicker, and it's like a wildfire. Why? Because when someone catches love, true love, or peace, true peace, not the one that I need to protect it and guard it, right? But true peace, when that truly catches your being, when the truth truly catches your being, it just spreads. So, for example, someone like Nisargadatta Maharaj, even the teachings of Christ, Ramana Maharshi, they just weren't super easily accessible everywhere, and now it's like boom. Now the words are getting everywhere.
And
so
Sanskrit, it's a little tough to comprehend as well. Sanskrit was a huge part of the teaching. So the things that I'm trying to teach my kids is I go backwards and say, hey, when you were little, this is who the young person was that raised you, that didn't understand the complexities of, the higher consciousness and having an emotional grounding, stable type environment. Yeah. And when you reach backwards, you heal parts of you. And then that brings you to becoming the thermostat versus the thermometer. So it's amazing.
So Osho says the child is pure joy, pure love, pure bliss before the world has told you otherwise, right? So the truth is that pure joy, pure bliss, that connection, the one that just likes to create and play and have fun. But then the programming, the software inside is what's creating everything else that's going on. So this guy's designed in a way to remove all that. And what can happen a lot on someone's journey is they feel like, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't have enough wisdom, I can't understand all this Sanskrit. Oftentimes, the less knowledge that you have, the better.
I agree.
Oftentimes, the less programming, the better. It's like, I know nothing. Oftentimes, that is the most fertile soil. I know nothing.
That's been my journey, yes.
Yeah. The more that somebody surrenders into, I know nothing, fill me, God, fill my cup, I know nothing, boom, now's the opportunity.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And I'm super grateful to have found your channel. Let me give you a follow and make sure that I have you in my algorithm for as long as I'm left on this app.
You're awesome, Theory. And what does Katniss represent? We're going to talk about that for a second because it's a very powerful movie. What does Katniss represent?
So for me, Katniss represents understanding the power that you hold within and overcoming things and bringing people together. She did that in that movie, and she did it without fear. She did it with just an absolute knowing that this is who I am, this is what I'm meant to be and do.
Yeah.
And so Katniss is my inner strength.
Yeah, and she accepted her role, right? She accepted her journey. She's like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Even though my life's in danger, even though I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm taking my part. I'm playing my role.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So good
Beautiful.
to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for coming up. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
You as well. Everybody thank Theory for coming up. Maybe we'll talk more theories later. Thank you for coming up. I'm going to allow just one more person to come up here tonight to either ask questions, talk about your journey, or release emotions. Thank you, Theory. We got Amy next. Amy? So on the bottom left, if you want to come up and chat.
Oh,
hi, Amy.
Hello.
Excellent. Hello. Thanks for coming up.
So nice to speak with you. Recently, I was sick in the first month of this year, and I wasn't able to sleep much at night. And I listened to your meditations on YouTube, and they really helped with healing and stuff.
Beautiful.
My question is, so when I'm meditating, I do notice like my mind like coming in, and it likes to think a lot, and I recognize that I'm like that's like I guess like ego, or like the mind.
So I'm going to point to something.
Sorry.
Yes. So I'm trying to meditate.
Yes.
But then I'm thinking all these thoughts. The I that's saying I'm thinking all these thoughts is the separate self. So the truth of yourself is the piece behind. It's the observer that you pointed to. But what's happening is the identity is still connected to it. It's saying I'm all these thoughts, right? So that's the first release that you're going to get from just coming up here. Now continue.
Yeah. And so I recognize that that I'm the soul, like observing myself in that moment.
Yeah.
And that has helped like bring some like distance between my thoughts, like in my waking life. And I recognize that that everything that's going on in my life like was chose, I guess, by my soul to help my highest like learning in this life. Sometimes I find though, like when I'm in something and I'm like, wait, what am I meant to be learning in this? And then I think, oh, am I meant to be learning to be able to ask for help, or am I meant to learn to find joy in the mundane, or and then I get a little bit confused because I'm like, wait, what am I meant to learn from this situation? Or is that my mind like just overthinking?
That's your mind. That's your mind. So
Okay.
you're meant to experience. Yeah, you're a human. You're going through a human experience. You're going to have all sorts of emotions that a soul can't have, for one, right? And whatever you're meant to learn, you're going to learn. You're not going to miss it.
Yeah.
You're gonna go through that experience, so that can free you a little bit of what am I supposed to learn? What am I going to learn? If you're meant to learn it, you'll learn it. It'll happen. As you're in here right now, and you're coming into higher understandings, and you're learning things about your experience, that it happens, and it's perfect divine timing that's set up for you.
Yeah. So just release that like wanting to know what it is, and just
Yeah, because that which wants to know everything, is that your truth of yourself, or is that the ego?
oh, the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you become very immersed in the moment and you flow with life, you're just going to be enjoying the experiences, Amy.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think like it's been such a like a journey, I guess, of letting go, because I think when I was a kid, like I really felt like the world was just a scary place. I got that in my head, like in my mind, and like like just as an adult, it's just been a constant like letting my inner child know that it's not a scary place, and and that's going to be the reality that you create more of and that you see, right? So whatever you're focused on, you're going to get more of as the energy expands, and it's a creation of your own reality and awareness in which you're living. So there's a lot of kids are being filled with that right now. A lot of kids on the planet are being filled with the world is a scary place. It's an evil place, right? That's a lot of kids right now. So they're going to, when they get older, when they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they're going through a similar experience, they're going to have their own inner journey to go on, right? Yeah. Yeah, and just I guess just undoing that programming my mind. And it's sometimes I do find that it really like is trying to exhaust itself. Like the ego and my mind wanting to just control everything, keep you safe. Control, right? Control. What do I point to? So if emotions and triggers are running the being, if fear is running the being, worry, anxiety, are we really in control? Are we making choice? No. Are we having free will in that moment? No. Right. And so where does the free will come from? I don't know. Oh, just our ability to just choose.
Yeah, when you're living from a place of presence. So when you're living from a place of presence, all of a sudden you go, I'm going to make a choice right now. Do I want to do this? Yes, I will. Or no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going to. Rather than my emotion or the dopamine or whatever it is running me to do this thing. I'm numbing, I'm hiding, I'm distracting, I'm living from a safety mechanism, right? Whatever it may be.
Yeah, so many times that happens to me. Like, my mind's like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. And it's like, and then I just have to like let that go and go, okay, like, just, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's happening.
I'm able to like do that with most things, but there's one big fear that I have, and that is like leaving my son. That's like the one thing that I just can't seem to like let go of, because that's like my but I keep saying to myself that if I was meant to die, like, and leave him early, then that was our soul contract between the two of us.
Yeah.
And like, but there's just a bit of me that's also like, no, I want to be there. I just like, I can't let go of that. And it's so hard, like, because that's
going to be an instinctual mother fear, right? That's very, I mean, it's built deep in evolution of all animals. So that which has carried you through your whole life experience is the same that's within him. There's no difference. Right, that which has brought you through your life journey is the same light that is carrying his being. There's no separation there, right? So if you can trust in that which is bringing you, we fall into that which can bring him as well. And that's when the mother bird says, it's time to jump out of the nest and you can fly, and evolution can take care of you all on its own, right? Nature can take care of you all on its own.
Yeah, that it makes me cry thinking about that, because I have said a prayer and so said that like even death could not separate me from him, because he's just like and that's like the biggest fear, isn't it? Like
right, and it won't. Even death can't separate you. That's truth when you said that.
Thank you. I didn't know where this conversation was going to go, but thank you.
Those always turn out to be the best ones when you just allow them to flow.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. Yeah. Any other questions or talks about your journey? Every single conversation helps people immensely, and yours is unique in a different way. So it helps a lot.
No, and my mind's like gone blank now, but I think that was just what I wanted to say. Thank you.
And so what is a blank mind?
A blank mind? Oh,
let's go deeper for just a second, because you have a beautiful opportunity. My mind is blank.
Being in present moment.
You're in the present moment. And what's in the present moment when you have a blank mind? Is there peace?
Yeah. Peace and love. I think.
Yeah, peace and love. Now meditate from this place.
Yeah. And I guess even when you're just living in the present moment, that in itself is like, you know, when I'm playing with my son, or like brushing his hair, or, you know.
Yes, you got it.
Enjoying a sunset.
Yes.
Yeah, watching it. Yeah, just being happy, even if, well, not even being happy, but just being in acceptance with whatever's happening in life, even if it's like not what you want it to be.
Right, because it's actually happening exactly how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And how it's meant to be. Okay.
And you're just feeling the fresh air going through your nose, and you're tasting the food, and you're recognizing, wow, I have this human experience.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty wild.
Pretty incredible.
Like,
yeah.
I can,
it is.
like, it's such a journey.
It is. It really is.
Just, an amazing experience coming to Earth. And I know we've done it millions of times before, but like, it's just, each time, I guess there's something you knew that for your soul to experience.
Until you're ready to just live in the light, and then you don't want to experience anymore. Yeah. So there's certain beings that talk about that their end. They're like, I'm not gonna be anything anymore, right? I'm gonna be one with God. They're like, I'm done with experience. I'm just want bliss now with God, and that's it. So that's kind of like, where this guy's getting. Yeah,
I do try and talk to like my guides and things like that, and ask for help and direction, because I just know that like I have experienced a couple of things before where I've like felt that beyond, you know, that there's just at the beginning of my journey, well, ish at the beginning of my journey, where I realized that this is not just what we see as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more to everything. There's infinite parallel realities for all things, right? So the way it's very difficult to put God into words, because the problem is humans with a limited brain, right, and a grain of sand in the existence of the all tries to explain God. The best way to explain it is all things, beyond space-time is space-time, right? So in truth, that which is beyond space and time means that it has already experienced all things which could be in space and time. Now, that's going to send all of your minds for a loop, and you're going to get confused, right? But that is the truth in and of itself, and this busts open limitation in an instant. But just allow it to wash over you the way that it can.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right.
I think sometimes I just have to stop and think, like, wow, like we're on this floating rock, and it's just so easy to get like sucked into the like, oh, life and work and everything, and you just have to step back and not take it as seriously, I guess. Like we're here for like an experience, and like it's all beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, it is all beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let it become more and more delicious, and then living from that embodiment and that place, you're going to spread that environment that you've tended to within, and others will drink of you around you. They'll say, wow, you're smiling, you're happy, you're joyful, you're playful, you're creative. I love this. And they're going to want to drink of that.
Yeah. I hope that can happen.
Yeah. You know, it's certainly, you're 100%. I see you as that already. But that is definitely where your journey is going. It's very obvious.
Thank you for seeing me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming up here. Yeah. Everybody give Amy some love. We're going to end with her tonight here. Thank you for coming into the channel here, Amy. I'm sure we'll see more of you. Excellent. Incredible conversation to end the night here. Thank you, everybody, for being in the channel here tonight. This is going to conclude our Higher Consciousness New Earth Talks here for Saturday night, moving into a higher mind, into higher emotions. We will be on tomorrow night as well, as we tackled fear in a very big way here this evening. So that's going to be Sunday tomorrow, if you want to mark your calendar, or if you want to go check on the channel under the Abundance Gang community board. It'll be pinned there and posted as well. So that's going to be a little bit earlier tomorrow. We're going to do 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same time, we'll talk about something different, maybe the hero's journey or emotional scale. We'll figure something out. But we will see you then tomorrow night. Everybody have an amazing Saturday night. If you want to hang out and just ask a couple last minute questions, you can do so in the chat. I will answer those questions now at this point in time. If you have questions about your emotions, your mind, your spiritual or soul journey, this is when I will answer them, okay? Yeah, this is when I'll answer if any questions come through. Thank you all for being in here tonight. Let's go, Angelica. Thank you for being in here. Thank you, Lindsay, for being in here. Junie, you're awesome. Thank you. Carla, thank you. Jersey, let's go. Right. You're all incredible. So now's your opportunity. If you have questions about those one-on-ones, now's your opportunity to ask as well. I'm going to pin a link at the bottom if you're interested about those one-on-ones. Yeah, CC right at the bottom. If those of you are interested in the Light Awakening music, that's also for purchase. If you want that, fill out the link at the bottom. Same thing with the nighttime hypnotics. Those are becoming available as well for meditations or for sleep, the uninterrupted versions. Otherwise, you can get them for free if you come into the TikTok lives here. And those are the Monday through Friday nights. Thank you, Abigail. Much love. Excellent. Thank you, Papa, for the how are you? How are you? Thank you, Papa. Thank you, thank you. Products and view showcase only displays. That's strange. There should be a contact If not, just send me a DM, CC, okay? Just make sure it's this channel. Make sure it's not a fake one. Make sure it has at least 60,000 followers when you DM me. I will never DM somebody first. Ever, okay? And never message someone and say, hey, I'll give you an energy reading or do this for you. Nothing, ever, right? I always wait till somebody messages me, and I don't answer lifelong stories either. Those are designed for being in here or for the one-on-ones. I get thousands of messages, and I try and keep up with comments on videos as well. So, are there any other questions about your journey, your mind, your emotions here this evening? We talked on fear in a very big way. If you have questions about the one-on-ones, the merchandise, the channel, any of the lives, excellent. Tomorrow, Bro Gumbler, is 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so New York time. Right? You're going to want to go by... Yeah, only guests on the weekend, CC. Saturday and Sunday is the only time I have people come up and chat. So, only time is for about an hour each night on Saturday and Sunday when I have people have the opportunity to come up and chat about their own journey or ask questions or release. Otherwise, the other lives Monday through Friday, nobody ever comes up. And I purposely design them that way to keep things in momentum and flow and all that. Excellent. With that being said, we're going to conclude this evening. Thank you so much for everybody for being in here. Have a blessed, wonderful night. Get some good sleep. We'll see a lot of you tomorrow evening, same time, or we'll start the week in a powerful way on Monday for Motivation Momentum Monday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great evening, everybody. Yeah, you got it, CC. 9 to 11 Eastern tomorrow. Good night. Good night, good night. God bless. Good night, good night. Good night, good night. Bye-bye.